Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we try to figure out if companies are playing it straight or just trying to pull a fast one. Today we're diving into Morningstar's latest filing, and let's just say there's a bit of a shake-up happening. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we unpack these filings further. So we've got Morningstar, the company that helps you understand investments, giving us their quarterly update. They're filing something called a Form 8K, which is basically for reporting big, important news that isn't necessarily on a regular schedule. Think of it as a company shouting from the rooftop something significant happened. The date we're looking at is August 29th, 2025. This is when the earliest reported event in this filing occurred. Morningstar's common stock is traded under the ticker MORN on the Nasdaq stock market. This is what most people know them by, the stock symbol they see when they check their investments. Now, the real meat of this filing often isn't just one thing, but a collection of important disclosures. In this case, they're telling us about some investor questions that were answered primarily up to July 31st. It's like they're sharing the transcript of a Q&A session with their biggest fans or perhaps just their most curious investors. Okay, here's one of the big stories in this report. A key person, James Rhodes, who is the president of their direct platform, is leaving. This happens on September 12th. This is significant because a leader of a major platform leaving can either signal a smooth transition or potential disruption. To fill the gap, Franny Bestary, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the same direct platform, will step in as the interim head. This is a common move. They're not bringing in an outside person right away, but promoting from within for the interim period. This signals they want to keep things stable while they search for a permanent replacement. The big question is, why is James leaving and who will eventually take over his role permanently? That will definitely impact the future direction of that platform. Now, like almost every company filing, they include this section about forward-looking statements. This is essentially a legal disclaimer where they tell you that some of the things they say might be about the future and that these future things are uncertain. They use a bunch of words like aim, estimate, plan, believe, and expect. It's a way for them to say, hey, we're making educated guesses about the future, but things could change and we can't be held responsible if our predictions don't come true. This is standard practice, but it's important to remember that when they talk about future success or growth, it's not a guarantee. They list out a bunch of risks. One of the first ones they mention is the risk of failing to maintain and protect their brand, independence, and reputation. This means they're worried about anything that could damage how people see Morningstar. Think about negative press, data breaches, or even just a bad product launch. If their reputation takes a hit, people might stop trusting their advice, which is what they sell. This is a really big one in today's world. They're explicitly worried about cybersecurity. If their systems get hacked or if they lose people's private information, it's not just a technical problem, it's a trust problem, and it can lead to huge fines and damage to their name. Then they point to the economy. They're saying that if the economy goes bad with lots of ups and downs, recessions, or problems in the stock market, it could hurt their money-making abilities, especially the parts of their business that are tied to managing assets. This is pretty straightforward. When the economy is shaky, people are less likely to invest, and that directly impacts a company like Morningstar. This is quite forward thinking. They're also concerned about artificial intelligence. They're wondering how AI will affect their business, their reputation, and what legal issues might come up as they start using AI in their products. This shows they're aware that the technology landscape is always changing and AI is a big new frontier with both opportunities and risks. Another key risk they highlight is about their people. If they can't hire good employees, train them well, and keep them around, it's going to hurt their ability to do business and innovate. This is true for any company, but especially for an information and data-driven business like Morningstar, where smart people are essential. This is a really important point for Morningstar. They're warning about potential problems if their automated advice tools make mistakes, or if people use their data incorrectly. If their guidance leads to financial losses for their clients, they could be on the hook. This is a direct consequence of their business model. They also mentioned that their big deals like buying other companies or investing in new technology might not turn out as planned. If these strategic moves don't bring in the expected benefits, it can hurt their performance and make it harder to create value for their investors. This is a classic risk for any company that grows through acquisitions. Now let's glance at the exhibits. They've attached something called Investor Q&A as Exhibit 99.1. This is likely where the detailed investor questions and their official answers are found. While we don't have the content of that Q&A here, it's usually a good place to look for specific insights into their current thinking about their business. Finally, the report is signed off by Michael Holt, the Chief Financial Officer, on August 29th, 2025. The signature indicates that he, as a top executive, confirms the accuracy of the information provided in this filing. Now, looking at all this, Morningstar is navigating a complex world. The departure of a key executive like James Rhodes at the Direct platform is a notable event. It means a period of transition, and the success of Franny Bestery in her interim role and the eventual permanent replacement will be crucial for that segment of the business. The company is clearly aware of the many risks it faces, from economic downturns and cybersecurity threats to the evolving landscape of artificial intelligence and the need to keep its talent sharp. This demonstrates a level of transparency, but also highlights the challenges ahead. Their business relies heavily on trust and the accuracy of their recommendations. So any slip-ups in these areas, especially with automated tools, could have significant financial and reputational consequences. In essence, Morningstar is in a constant balancing act. They need to innovate and grow, manage economic uncertainties, maintain their hard-won reputation, and keep their expert team engaged, all while ensuring their advice and data top-notch to avoid liabilities. The upcoming period will be telling to see how they manage these transitions and risks. What's your take on these changes at Morningstar and the risks they're flagging? Do you think they're prepared for the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If this breakdown was helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description, for even more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.